What's going on, everyone? DSP and John Rambo here, and welcome to our Monday recap of E3 2012.
Is it still Monday?
Well,
I don't know if that's
technically it's not Monday when we're recording this, but basically we didn't get into E3 today. The official, expo wasn't open today, but there were 4 major press conferences actually held for press only, which revealed a lot of the stuff that we're probably going to be able to be playing on the floor over the next couple of days. A lot of really new announcements, stuff that people weren't really expecting, and seeing the direction and where all these companies and developers are going in the next year. So what we did is we literally, from our hotel room after going around for the day and doing a little bit of tourism and going out to dinner, we watched all the press conferences here, and I took notes. And what we're going to be doing, I guess similar to probably our SmartGlass shows, is just kind of going through it and reviewing everything that they went over.
Similar to our previous E3.
Right, which we've done before.
Yes.
Now, we're not going to be going into elaboration about a lot of the stuff. A lot of the stuff I don't think we really have much to say, or it's not clear what a lot of this stuff is yet.
Yeah.
And plus, we're going to try to get this video done as quickly as possible, simply because the internet here is so shitty that it takes 100 years to upload a video. So rather than make a 30-minute video that's going to take 5 hours to upload, try to get through it as quick.
Plus, once we actually get our hands on it, we can elaborate more.
Exactly.
And go back to it. So
this is just our initial impressions for what we saw from the press conference.
Kind of like a skeleton. Kind of build it.
Exactly. Microsoft started out the day showing a trailer and some gameplay of Halo 4, showing the new alien race that's in it, and really it doesn't tell you much about the game yet. It doesn't reveal anything about multiplayer or co-op. It just kind of shows that it's Halo 4. There's a new alien.
They don't really have to tell you anything because it's Halo.
Right.
So you go, okay, Halo, all right.
Right.
People that like Halo will like it.
Will like it, exactly. Splinter Cell Blacklist was showed next, so a new Splinter Cell game. I don't think anyone really knew that one was coming out yet. This one seems to be set in like Afghanistan, the Middle East, something like that, and you're out to find certain terrorists out there. So, but it looks like typical Splinter Cell gameplay from what we can see. It was announced that both FIFA and Madden 13 will have Kinect compatibility, and at first we were looking at it like, what? Like, how is that going to work?
I was afraid.
We thought it was going to be like weird, wonky motion controls.
Like the ball.
Like the ball, and for FIFA doing kicks.
Yeah.
But actually it's not. What it is, it's all voice commands.
Okay.
They actually have Joe Montana come out during this segment and show how to do it. He's giving orders, oh, audible on this, and, he gives the Blue 32, hut. He's doing all that stuff at the line. So it looks like there will be some compatibility, it's voice compatibility. It's not motion compatibility. But they are adding it in. Will it add anything to the game? I don't know.
I don't know. People that play those games hardcore, I don't know if that's something they really wanted.
I don't know if they were dying to call out.
It seems like people that like those games complain about certain things about those games. It's never really like, I want to be able to say things, and the game does it. I've never seen that. I mean, I don't know. So.
All right, good point. Up next was Fable: The Journey, which is the new Fable game that's going to come out with Kinect motion compatibility. You don't really have any idea, how that's going to be. It just shows it, so big deal.
Peter Molyneux's not there anymore.
No, he's not with that company anymore.
So maybe it'll actually be a good Fable game.
Wow. Okay. Gears of War Judgment. Very short trailer shown, no gameplay, so it's unclear when this takes place, if it takes place in the mainstream Gears of War storyline. Doesn't look like Marcus Phoenix is even in it. So really not a lot of info besides, guess what, we're making another Gears of War game because we knew you would buy it even though we said the series was done with Gears of War 3.
I've seen a lot of that lately where like this is the end and then it just comes back.
And we'll talk a lot about that because there's several more coming up.
Okay.
Forza. It's fucking Forza, and what else can you say? You're racing cars.
A lot of this stuff, like, this could have been the same conference from, like, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's true.
There's, like, a lot of the same things.
Either it's another sequel, or, it's what you expect.
Yeah, they could have played their last, like, 2 years ago, they played the same one, and no one would have known.
New languages are coming to the Xbox experience with Kinect, including, I believe he used Spanish to try to navigate the menus and such.
That's good.
The El Planeta of Del Homo Sapianos or whatever it was.
What the heck?
He ordered like that Rise of the Planet of the Apes and he said it in Spanish. It was kind
Planetos del Apos. Yes.
Also announcing that more studios will be coming to the Xbox experience over the next or the next year, including ESPN is going to have like every one of their channels available for 24 hours a day. Machinima is actually going to have their own separate area to watch Machinima videos up on the Xbox, so that kind of stuff. There's a new partnership with Nike where they're coming out with this new fitness game. Nike Fitness or whatever. I'm not sure what they call it, but it's all Connect-based fitness training stuff.
Well, the same stuff you've seen. It's been so many different athletic type games.
Right. One of the big announcements, which was people were rumored about it before the press conference even happened, is the new Xbox SmartGlass.
Yes.
Which is basically it's a paddle, you know, like almost like an iPad.
I don't understand this. Explain it to me.
All right.
I'm still.
It's basically an iPad that syncs all of your devices in your house.
Okay.
So your phone, your actual iPad, your Kindle, your TV,
Kindle.
your Xbox, everything gets synced.
And as Matt Stone said, your stove.
Well, we'll get to that because that's funny. I think we should.
Yes.
We'll mention that joke
Yeah.
that he says.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's basically a thing to sync all of your wireless devices in your house. So you can use your iPad if you're watching a movie and I didn't finish it. Well, now you can resume. And I don't think it's iPad. I think it's anything that runs on Windows 7. Actually, it's only Microsoft.
I think he did say iPad.
Did he really?
I think he said Android, iPad, iPhone.
Oh shit! Okay.
Like everything.
So his example was you're watching a movie on your iPad and you didn't finish it. You come home, you just want to resume the movie from where you watched it, but you don't want to watch it on your iPad, you want to watch it on your TV. So this new SmartGlass will sync everything so it'll do that. It'll resume the movie on your TV, and then on your iPad it'll be giving you additional information about the actors in the movie and behind the scenes stuff. And it's like, and you can make, it'll be like a wireless remote that works for everything in your house, so you don't need 20 remotes, you can change the volume and everything from there. So it's basically a way to sync. It's not clear exactly how this works. Like, how are you going to sync all these different technologies that use different software and different things like that? But that's what he's claiming it's going to do. So, okay, more power to you if you can make that work. I didn't know anyone was looking for that. But they also announced that Internet Explorer is coming to Xbox. So there will be a browser to get online for the first time ever on Xbox. Then they did a couple demos. They did the new Tomb Raider game, which pretty much looks like Tomb Raider, but it's really Uncharted. You know what I mean? Like, it's more realistic.
Yeah, it's kind of inspired by.
Definitely looks like that game, which is funny because Tomb Raider probably inspired Uncharted.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And now Tomb Raider's been inspired by Uncharted because it's been a more successful game over the past several years. This new game called Ascend, which was a very short demo, looked like maybe Shadow of the Colossus. He's like climbing a giant monster. Unclear what the hell that's going to be. It wasn't really cool. Another one too, Loco Cycle. It was like a girl talking about she has power, she's gonna help you.
That's the one I want to get.
Loco Cycle, no gameplay. The weirdest trailer. All it shows is a motorcycle.
Like, write that down and look for that on the show floor.
They probably won't. I would hope they don't have it.
I hope they don't have it.
Another game. Now this one is actually made by Gore Verbinski, who was the director of all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Okay.
It's called Matter, and all it showed were two spheres with eyes that look like the colors from Portal.
Yeah, I thought it was like a GLaDOS kind of.
Yeah, and they're walking around, and then all of a sudden they stick probes in each other, and it's like, matter. And that was funny, because it says, for the Kinect, and we both go, oh!
Yeah, it was like exclusively for Kinect or something.
No,
I was like, oh.
What a shame. Could have been a good game. Oh well.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 6, they show a brief demo, and it really looks like it's Leon and Claire in Raccoon City during Resident Evil 2. It looks like where the game starts. But it's unclear, like you can't really tell what's going on. There's umbrella operatives, there's zombies. Looks really good.
Trains coming off the rails.
Trains hitting,
buildings collapsing. And
for the first time, like they're doing really action-based moves. Like remember, Leon did he hit the ground, he did a dodge roll, which you couldn't do. He did a standing roundhouse kick to a zombie. So it seems like there's all these melee moves that they've added to the game, making it far more action-based than previous Resident Evils. But classic zombies are back. Does that mean it's going to be scary when it's an action-based co-op game?
There's the thing though, like I feel like it could be different as long as it's good.
Right.
Because people always get hung up on that. It's not like it used to be. Well, as long as it's good, it's alright. You still have the old ones. It's not like they're going back and taking that away from you.
Right.
You can't have Resident Evil 1 anymore.
Well, some people they wish they would make more
I understand
of the
that. Yeah,
classic
it's understandable
games,
as well.
Next we had Racketeer, which is also a
The
Kinect
Rocketeer?
exclusive. No, Racketeer.
Oh yes, Racketeer.
Which is a Kinect exclusive. All it is you shoot shit at buildings and knock them down, and it looks fucking stupid. So South Park. They play this epic trailer for South Park. Looks like it's going to be an open world, crazy ass game. All these characters from all the different South Park universes.
Right.
Goblins, crab people. He was mentioning some of them actually in the trailer.
Yes.
And so Matt Stone and Trey Parker come out, and the first thing that they say goes, "So who, when you've been sitting at home, has ever imagined being able to watch South Park on your iPad?" Then
Is it streaming to your
wirelessly stream it to your TV while you're bouncing on your bed, sitting inside of your refrigerators, on your stove, he's like joking about what was it called, the SmartGlass.
Basically the entire conference.
Yeah, he basically ripped apart the SmartGlass with this joke, which was pretty funny.
Right.
And then of course they talk about how they've been working on this game. It's the first South Park game they've ever had their hands in.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a licensed title. They're really excited about it. They had to think about things in the South Park universe that previously had never been thought. Like, how do you get to Stan's house from Cartman's house and stuff like that? So the game looks, in my opinion, pretty damn good so far. That looks like something that could be a lot of fun if done correctly, and I think it will be done correctly because they have their hands on it. There's Dance Central 3. Usher comes out and makes a fool of himself as usual, dances around Dance Central 3, who cares? And then they ended it with a Black Ops 2 trailer, which is pretty much, it's Call of Duty, which is what you expect. So the thing that I do want to note is that out of all the things at the press conference, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things out of about, I think it's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about out of like 20. So half of what they talked about was either motion controls of the Kinect or the SmartGlass.
Yeah, or a third-party game.
That's
really
I was counting those as not one of those things. So think about that.
Yeah.
They only mentioned like 2 Xbox exclusive games in the whole thing. Half the time they're talking about a SmartGlass that no one knew what the fuck it was before this press conference. No one really understands why the hell you need it after the press conference. And everything else was Kinect that no one cares about.
Right.
So Microsoft pretty much following suit with their previous press conferences.
Yeah.
Sell you more peripherals you don't need. Still trying to sell you on the peripherals that you don't want anymore.
The thing is, people buy this stuff in massive quantities. As whatever you think about that.
Sad.
So I know that's at the end of the day, people are gonna buy the Gears, they're gonna buy the Halo.
Right.
And that's good enough, I guess.
All right, so that's it for Microsoft's press conference. EA's press conference.
Yes.
They open it up with Dead Space 3, which in my opinion looks like it's a completely different game at this point.
Well, but it's hard to tell from what they show, but
right, and they did show co-op gameplay.
It does seem like everything turns into Gears of War eventually.
Right.
As Resident Evil kind of did.
Yeah, sure.
This is kind of got the co-op.
It's like Gears of War. It's 2-player co-op.
Machine guns.
Taking cover. It looks like it's a lot more running gun, but taking cover and shooting enemy troops and stuff with machine guns.
That's what they showed. They showed them taking cover and just.
Right.
And they're shooting back.
It's nothing like previous Dead Space, so it's
maybe they'll have a little bit of everything. We'll have to see.
Man 13 they show off. Who cares? It's fucking Madden. SimCity Social for Facebook. So
SimCity is back.
SimCity is back in 2 different games. They're going to have a social version, which is like a mini SimCity version on Facebook, where you can integrate your friends and stuff into your city. And then there's a new SimCity title actually being released for PC that looks like it's bringing the series back to its hardcore roots.
Right.
Now you made the point that things have changed since the original SimCity games.
The point that they were trying to make was like all these different these pretenders are out there. So I guess that'd be like your Farmville or these games.
Oh yeah, they make fun of Farmville. They directly make a joke about Farmville during
the
this
reason that people like Farmville is because it's very simple, and like your mom or whoever can just pick it up,
jump into it, and play it.
And like the SimCity they were showing seemed like was
oh, there's an economy and there's this and there's that, and you're like, well, wait a minute, people don't want that complicated stuff anymore.
I don't know if that's the same audience.
I don't know. So then they proceed to go on and talk about 2 really odd things. Battlefield 3. Now, is it a new game? No.
No.
Is it a new exciting DLC?
Yes.
No.
Oh, shit.
It's the new Battlefield 3 premium service that pretty much is exactly the same as what Call of Duty Elite was last year.
Yeah, they want to be Call of Duty badly.
You pay the subscription or whatever, and you're going to get, you get additional skins and 20 new weapons, and it's a lot of stuff that maybe...
Cool camos.
Cool camo for your character.
Stickers or something. And
dog tags.
Dog tags, yeah.
Now, if you're a hardcore Battlefield 3 aficionado, which is what? Maybe 10% of the people who ever played the game, okay, maybe you want this. But the common gamer doesn't want to pay a subscription-based service for optional content.
For cool camos? Sometimes some of the wording in these conferences just makes you go like, what?
Gotta get your cool camo.
They want to make it seem so cool.
Right.
That just comes off as like the lamest thing ever.
And then the next one was Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Yeah.
It is coming with some changes. As of July, you can play to level 15 in the game totally for free, which, by the way, is what every single MMO is doing now. They let you play the game for free to a certain level.
You invest a ton of time, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna keep going.
They finally realized no one's going to pay $60 for a game when it's an MMO and you don't know if you like it and you're getting addicted to it or
that's
not.
a good idea.
And then also they said there'd be new content, blah blah blah. So it's kind of the same deal. We're going to have new stuff coming out for. So a big chunk of their conference was talking about old games, which you're like, maybe they don't have a lot to talk about. Then they showed off Medal of Honor Warfighter, new Medal of Honor game. Really not much to say about it. It looks like previous Medal of Honor games at this point until more information.
Well, I think the last one didn't really take off that well, right?
It did not. They were trying to reboot the series and have it go in a new direction. It did not take off so well.
Yeah,
so interesting to see what will happen with this one.
Right.
They spend like a ridiculous amount of time on FIFA 13, even though FIFA has its fan base. If people are going to buy it, they're going to buy it. If they're not, they're not. You don't have to spend 20 minutes at your press conference talking about fucking things you added to FIFA.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think what the idea behind that is. I mean, maybe those fans watch specifically to see what they added to it or something, but they're still going to get it.
They're going to get it, right.
I don't
think soccer has this hardcore fan base. Sorry, football has this hardcore fan base, so. Alright, then they announced a big announcement regarding UFC games.
Yeah, Dana White comes out.
Dana White's there. He announces, basically, we're leaving the previous company who was making our games. We're now going exclusively with EA from now on. And so now UFC games are coming to EA, and they're excited because now they said, it could be sold in more countries and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so they didn't even show the game.
Which is kind of funny
because about anything.
They had some disputes in the past where he wanted them to make a game, they said no, so then THQ made his game.
Right.
And then EA made that other one.
Right.
And then he put them down, he's like, oh, they wouldn't want him, blah, 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 and now they want to do it. And then now they're together.
And now they're together and they're best friends.
Money's a good thing.
It is.
Here's all illnesses.
It does. It does.
Yes.
So then they show Need for Speed Most Wanted, which you're like, wait a minute, there already was a Need for Speed Most Wanted. And then actually the developer comes out to explain, well, we wanted to make a new Need for Speed game, and we wanted to go in a direction of something that we knew the fans already had liked, and Most Wanted was one of our most popular games ever. So we're bringing it back to that time period where you're being chased by the cops, who is the most wanted, who has the best wanted rating, stuff like that. You'll be able to compare it with your friends. Blah, blah, blah. So, Need for Speed Most Wanted is coming back. It's the same game, but, it's coming back. And then Crysis 3 they showed, which honestly, from the gameplay they showed, looks like Crysis 2 with a bow and arrow. It doesn't look any different to me than the previous games. I could be completely wrong, but from what they showed of gameplay, it didn't look too revolutionary or anything like that to me. Alright. Ubisoft, however you want to pronounce it, had a couple really good things that they talked about. And then they had a couple really weird things that happened. But the first thing I want to say, whoever's the producer of this thing should have got fired. Because right off the bat, audio issues, queuing issues, the people that they booked, some of the people were absolutely ridiculous. Of like it makes no sense why they're even there. They weren't a good mix for an E3 conference. One of them actually has no real relationship to being a hardcore gamer, and I'll talk about that. But anyway, here we go. It opens up with Aisha Tyler. Okay.
Well, they tried this last year too because they tried to do like a little different thing.
Yes.
They did Joel McHale, I think.
Yes.
Last year. So they tried to do like a little different spin than the other conferences. I think what they're trying to do.
Right, and I can understand that, but you need to choose better people. Aisha Tyler, I have no problem with her whatsoever.
Yeah, she did
a good job.
She tried hard, man.
She was hosting the whole thing. She's the voice actor of one of the characters on the anime series Archer. If you don't know who she is, she's also an actress. She's been in other stuff. So she opens it up, and who does she introduce but Flo Rida, who's doing a Just Dance 4 promo. And it's like...
Just Dance 4, think about that.
4. I'm proud to say I've never played a Just Dance game.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm happy to be in this game, and that you're giving me money. Basically what he should have said. No, that's what he should have said, because that's really only the reason he's in the game. But anyway, so they do that. Then they introduce, of all the people that they could have got for this fucking thing, they introduce a guy who, when he started on YouTube, he was making what were called literal trailers. What he would do is he would take a game like Assassin's Creed. He would take the trailer and take the dialogue and translate it literally, and it would be like a parody of the trailer.
Okay.
So it would be funny.
Right.
But he's not a gamer.
Okay.
What happened was he got a huge YouTube following based off of his literal trailers, and he used to do like vlogs and stuff that got popular. He said, well, I see that everyone else on YouTube is gaming and making money off of it, so why can't I do that too? So he made a game channel that is absolutely horrendous. Anyone who actually likes games doesn't watch this channel.
Okay.
He's the worst gamer like on YouTube, and all he does is play the games and suck at them. He barely ever rarely beats a game.
Okay.
And he's horrible. And everything is scripted as well. Like, you know, when we play a game, we're doing it off the cuff. Let's just play the game and see how we can do. He actually scripts comedy based off of what he's already recorded and then dubs comedy lines over. He's horrible. He's horrible. I can understand, okay, he's funny, popular for one thing, but his relationship to video games, it was a pure cash-in, okay? Only reason he did. And of course, the page is popular because he already had a huge following on one page. They spill over to his other stuff. Of course, I'm talking about Tobuscus, you know, Toby Turner or whatever his name is.
I don't know anything about it.
Everyone knows this guy and knows that he's fucking horrible, okay? They bring him into this conference for Ubisoft. Crickets. Every time he speaks, his humor doesn't translate well into this kind of format. Apparently no one even knew who the fuck he was, because no one even, like, even when I said, it's Tobuscus, everyone's like, huh? Who? What? And every time he made a joke, crickets. Even, you know what? It wasn't even crickets. It was dead silent. Even the crickets were speechless. They fucking were quiet because they weren't even laughing at his stuff. And they were trying to do back and forth with Aisha, and he'd be like obnoxious and fucking constantly interrupt her, and she was just getting pissed and like, I can't do comedy with this guy. He's horrible.
Right.
So he basically ruined the conference for a lot of people. For me, he didn't ruin it, but it's like, do research before you fucking hire someone. If you did research, you would have found out no one likes this fucking guy in the gaming community. It's only people that like him for his YouTube vlogs and his fucking literal trailers that like. The gaming community actually hates this guy. Hates the fact that he makes money off of games when he's horrible at them and puts no effort into it. So to get this guy, obviously he wasn't going to be a good mix. So between all the nonsense where he keeps interrupting and it's horrendous and it ruins the conference. Couple things they talk about. You got Far Cry 3 where they show a trailer where it shows 2 gratuitous sex scenes during this trailer. Well, no, just
sure it's 3.
later on. No, remember, Far Cry
movie.
3 was in the next conference, and that's where they showed it again.
Sorry.
But twice in the same trailer, gratuitous sex.
Yes.
Really weird. It's a mind-fucking trailer. I'm sure you can see it. So if you're interested in Far Cry 3, that's definitely something I recommend you check out because it's really weird. Again, they show more Splinter Cell Blacklist. They explain that the co-op is back. You're going to still have co-op missions. Then they show Avengers Battle for Earth, which I guess is an Avengers-based game that I don't know if it got because there was supposed to be an Avengers game. This was in development.
Those Activisions, I think, right?
Correct. Now this one's made by Ubisoft.
Oh, no, was it THQ?
No, I think it was Activision.
I thought THQ was supposed to make one.
Oh, I don't know.
But then they didn't do it.
I don't know about that, but all I know is like it's weird because they're announcing it the E3 after the movies come out and it's mega popular. We're making a game about it. It's like, but you missed your opportunity to have the game come out when the movie came out.
I still don't care.
Still looks good.
There's also an Activision one.
Well, they
coming later on as well.
Maybe they'll talk about it. Maybe it'll be here this weekend.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they actually already showed gameplay of that one.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there was a trailer a couple weeks ago.
Alright, so this game now, this doesn't only star the Avengers from the movie, but also Spider-Man, Wolverine, it shows a couple other characters.
Scarlet Witch, I think?
No, Magneto, I don't know if it showed Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, Magneto was all over that thing.
Yeah, he was like the villain, they were all fighting.
What's going on?
So it looks like it's going to be Avengers plus other Marvel heroes in this game.
Right.
Rayman Legends they showed off, which pretty much looks exactly the same as Rayman Origins, just like the sequel. The difference here is that there's going to be exclusive Wii U compatibility with this game when it comes to 2-player co-op. One player will be using the hardcore regular Nintendo controller, which looks exactly like an Xbox controller.
Yes.
Another person will be using the Wii U gamepad, which has the touch screen. And what they'll be doing is while they play the game on their screen exclusively, there will be touch points during these platforming stages where you can touch things and things will happen and open up paths and break down stuff.
Did we do Little Big Planet like that? When you had the move
yes.
and you had the controller?
Yes.
Kind of like it's been done a couple different ways. We should say Ubisoft's doing a lot with the Wii U.
Yes,
like
which we will talk about. There's another exclusive as well.
Seems like they're in bed there with Nintendo.
The next exclusive was called Zombie U.
Yes.
Which is a game that seems to be set in England.
Oh yeah?
They were playing God Save the Queen, they were showing the Buckingham Palace and all that. And it seems like, I guess this was shown off last year and it was more about monsters. This year they've changed it to zombies. But it's another Wii U exclusive game that will be coming out, and it's like, oh wow, you're telling me there's a Wii U exclusive title that people might want to play? Yeah, right now there actually is. Like, that's pretty cool that they're getting at least some developers to start making stuff exclusively.
It's an exclusive game for Nintendo where the first thing it shows guy is his head blown off.
Yeah, exactly. It was gory. It was
Like, whoa.
oriented. You're like,
Yeah.
holy crap. They show off Assassin's Creed 3, which
There's a lot of that.
looks pretty cool in my opinion. It's taken out of a city setting now. Now you're kind of in like the forest of New England and stuff. He's instead of doing the parkour stuff off of buildings, now he's going from trees to mountains, and he's doing kind of grappling and climbing, mountain climbing and stuff like that. And the fact that he's going to be now fighting people with weapons, guns, is an interesting twist. I don't know how they're going to implement that into combat. They actually show him doing hunting, like he hunts a deer and then wolves come out and attack him.
Wow.
So he starts defending himself against wolves. So it's definitely a different take on it.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
So that actually did get me kind of pumped for Assassin's Creed 3.
Oh, yeah.
Then a really weird segment, I have to say. They say, oh, did you know that in this past year, 16 or 15 million people tuned into esports being streamed over Twitch TV?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, we're going to jump into that. And here's this new game, Shoot Mania. And it's a game where it's like, 3 people have rocket launchers, 1 guy has a railgun, and the goal is to kill the 3 guys. And I'm like, what is this? Like, how do you know just because you made a new game that it's an e-sport that's going to be streamed live? Like, they didn't explain the connection between the two.
I thought it was interesting, though, that I never see a company come out and be like, we're making a game that's, going to be an e-sport game or trying to be...
Right.
So that's kind of a cool thing, I guess, if you like that.
But it doesn't make any sense.
Because they're kind of endorsing the competitive aspect of something, which a lot of these games never really
But you have to make
officially do that.
You have to make a game that's proven by a competitive community to be a competitive game before you can say it's an esports game. And here they're just saying, we're just making a game purely for esports. They're like, but what if it's not good? Or what if people, don't want to play it?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the flip side of it, but
I don't know.
I mean, if you like esports or watching that stuff, it's cool that a major company is trying to do something that's hopefully going to be something like that.
Right. Then they showed off a montage of several free-to-play games that they're currently working on, many different genres as well. So I guess free-to-play might start to be a new fad where, all these companies are going to make games that you can play, and then if you want to pay for them later...
It was just ads all over them.
Exactly. Well, that could be too, right? Yeah. So one or the other. And then the final thing was a game no one had heard of until today. It's a game where basically it's about the control of electronics and information. And it's called Watch Dogs. Really interesting. It shows a guy, at first it kind of looks like Grand Theft Auto. It has that kind of radar in the screen, and they explain it's an open world game. Yeah. But it looks very hyper-realistic. The graphics, everything was gritty and realistic. Walks into a nightclub, he's looking for someone. So to get into the nightclub, he hacks a wall that has all these screens on it, and he hacks everyone's cell phone outside, so everyone gets distracted, walks right into the club because of it, looks around, finds the contact of the guy he's looking for, hacks her phone, listens into a conversation she's having with the guy on the phone. The guy says he's en route to the club, so he knows the guy's coming. What does he do? He hacks the guy's files, finds out the make, model, and license on his car. Okay? So he finds out where the guy is, walks over to that street corner, makes one car shut off, stops traffic, causes a massive traffic accident. The guy gets out of his car, realizes it was him, gets a gun, starts trying to shoot. So now there's a gunfight in the middle of the street. There's several things going on with that. So eventually he gets the guy on the ground, executes him, and he says, I'm going to use you an example, or no, I'm going to use you to send a message. He goes, okay, wait a minute, what are you doing? He kills him. It's like, whoa, I thought you said you were going to use him to send a message. That's confusing. Then what he ends up doing, he hacks apparently the guy's phone and sends a phone call to one of the guy's lackeys with his own voice, this dead guy's voice telling him to do something. So it's a very unique style of game.
That was really cool. Like you said, because you look at it, you're like, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto.
Right.
But then you're like, wait a second. There's 100 other things going on. And the graphics look like, almost like, we're going to talk about this game too, a Heavy Rain. It looked like that quality of graphic.
Right.
With this big world in it.
Right.
It looks awesome.
It looks awesome. Yeah. And it's cool to see that announcement. No one had any clue, that was coming. And now finally, last but not least, we got Sony. Got some good things, some bad things to say. Opens up with the best thing about it by far. New game from Quantic Dream. We've been waiting for this. We heard about their new Kara emotion engine, which they're going to be using in this game. We're like, what is this going to be? It's a new game called Beyond Two Souls. It's a game that's going to delve with themes about the afterlife, themes about what happens before and after death, supernatural style themes. And they announced the main character of the game was going to be played by an actual actress, Ellen Page. If you don't know her, she's been in a lot of stuff. Like she starred in Hard Candy. She was in
Super.
That's right.
I
And
saw that.
she's been in a bunch of movies. I
Yeah.
can't think of anything recently that
If
she.
you saw her, you're like, oh, I know her.
Exactly.
It's hard to like pinpoint exactly where.
Rare, right.
Uh,
So she's the main character of the game. It looks just like her,
Yeah.
you know, and very similar to Heavy Rain here. The facial expression is extremely detailed. The graphics are amazing. The gameplay trailer that they showed blew me away. Like, it looks very interesting. There's even